How's it going? Nice to see you again from a dusky evening on the Isle of Wight. Thanks for joining me as always. And personal brand is something that I guess whether you have a keen interest in or not, the reality is that everyone's got a personal brand. Every business has a brand. And for me, the key thing to remember is it's not just how you would describe yourself or describe your business, it's how other people would describe you or describe your business. Whatever words they use, it's kind of your brand. Now, personal brand is, I guess, something that you can do something about. Businesses spend, the companies I work with spend maybe thousands of pounds, but the bigger ones obviously spend millions of pounds determining their brand. So the words that customers will use will readily define or hopefully agree with the service that the company is looking to provide. Now, when it comes to personal brand, I've, I guess, done more or been more aware of my personal brand since I created my own business a number of years ago and providing a service where it's not just how I would describe myself and my service, it's the words that my customers would use to choose to describe me and my service. And you have to spare a thought for an ancestor of mine, an O'Donnell from almost 500 years ago. The past 500 years, his brand values or his brand characteristics that's lived down through the years, down through the centuries, when it gets retold, he didn't have any of this stuff to help define it. He just had people hearing stories and writing things down. And one of the characteristics was that he had a knack or a tendency to correct people's grammar if he would prefer things to be said in a different or particular way. So he was an O'Donnell. Quick history lesson: the Irish clan system was all broken up. A lot of them went on the run. Some stayed in Ireland, some went to Spain, Italy. This particular O'Donnell created or had a monastery, and his whereabouts had been made aware to the Queen's officers who were on their way to apprehend him, with a few others that were in it for the reward. And they knew where he lived, but they didn't necessarily know what he looked like or had any other characteristics, except one of them had been told about his trait for correcting people, their grammar. Got to his house in the middle of the night, burst in and appeared in his room, his dwelling, and they thought they had the right man, but they thought to be absolutely sure, one of them said for one of the others to light the lights. Sure enough, the O'Donnell said, "Do you not think it would be better to say light the candles?" They knew they had the man and they apprehended him. So he did himself no favours by living up to what was known as his key brand characteristic. Now, the other slightly grimmer end to that story is that he had told them that he had a stash of treasure just off the coast at Galway, and if they wanted to accompany him out to this small island, he would take his treasure, grab his treasure before they took him in. So they were lured out to the island by the thought of this stash of treasure being out there. He went out in a small boat, and there was no easy place to land on this particular crop of rocks. And the soldiers got off first, and for some reason the O'Donnell was the last off the boat. He just pushed the boat away, left them on the island to perish. There was nothing there to feed or drink of, and off he went back to live a very quiet life. So 500 years later, they're the only two things that this guy's known for. So I think we have it quite easy. If you're not happy with your brand values, you can do something about them. I guess it kind of leads me to put it out there that if you want to describe me, and if you've worked with me, describe me in 3 words. I think I'm up for hearing what comments you add. As always, thanks for listening to these videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers for now.